Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is my lovely bride, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Whatever time it is for you, it is 11:30 in the morning for us on a Saturday. 22 degrees right now, and it's going to be a high of
31.
31.
I have 31.
Yeah. But we're all bundled up. We got our really nice Arc'teryx jackets. She was just saying she had her hat and gloves tucked away
Yeah.
for like a year.
I had them tucked away since like last winter. Didn't know where they were. Took out my jacket and there they are in the pocket.
Yeah. These are actually used from their website. You can send your gear back to them and sell it back or trade in, whatever you want to do. And so these I got for like half of what retail is. What's next? We're camping. We slept outside last night.
Yeah. Into winter. With all the snow.
With all the snow. Well, we didn't sleep in the snow, so we're kind of cheating.
Yeah.
It's called glamping, glamour camping. And we're doing that because we have our girls with us, 7 and 2.
Yep, 7 and 2.
And so they're a little young. We can't just go right in the snow like I would like to do. Just kind of go out in the middle of nowhere. But you can probably turn around and we'll show them what we got. Just turn around.
Whatever you want to do.
Just walk backwards. Here, I'll hold it for you.
Yeah, I don't know how it is.
I just realized we're doing a long form video in the upright position,
Yeah,
instead of landscape.
I know.
But we got to go with it now.
I know.
Hold on, someone just said something on the walkie-talkie.
So,
What was that, Emma?
we put up our tent in here. We got our nice little fireplace. Got some table stuff.
Okay, buddy. Copy.
We got some regular tent full of all our camping stuff. Little buddy heater. Some chairs for sitting.
Chairs for sitting. So the Mr. Buddy heater, we got the attachment for the 20-pound tank. Let me go take the heater out so we can show them what we're talking about.
Okay.
This is the smaller portable one. They have a larger one that holds a spare 1-pound tank on the other side. And probably a cigar right next to the tank is probably super safe. But that's how we do it out here. You get about 5.5 hours, I believe, on low with this.
Yeah.
This is our second tank since last night. And there's a bit left in here. But we got the 20-pound attachment and hose. And you got your boots on, so we can go show them that, I guess. Now this, I really shouldn't have this guard here. So we got a big long hose, but we didn't get any feed or any, like it wasn't igniting. So we're doing something wrong, but we couldn't figure it out. But I've read that this will be like 110 hours of heat with the little buddy heater. So I'd like to get that figured out so we can have heat just without having to change out tanks. I believe we can refill those if we figure that out, but yeah. But that little buddy heater, excuse me, having a heat source in your tent is big. You can go in the video now.
Yeah.
And we can walk back in there because she's got to cuddle with the little girl all night.
Yeah.
When they're hungry or they got to use the bathroom.
Yep.
And we are sleeping in 0-degree rated sleeping bags from Wiggies. And we can probably go show one of those off.
Yeah. Show those.
How do you feel about the sleeping bags, Liz?
I would have to say they're very nice, very comfortable. Once they're warm, they stay pretty warm, I'd have to say.
Mm.
You know?
Yep. I did research. I was trying to find the best sleeping bags for cold stuff because I didn't want to invest in something that was gonna suck if we needed it. Like if we have a power outage and we have crazy negative 40-degree weather like we've had recently, even though this is only rated for 0 degrees inside an apartment, plus the Mr. Buddy heater, you're gonna be cozy. So here's their logo. Sorry. I believe they're from Colorado, Grand Junction, Colorado. Lamellite insulated. So the owner has been doing this since I think the 70s, and he does sleeping bags for the military and stuff. They will take one of these, I think this is the ultralight, and shrink wrap it under 20 tons of pressure. So this whole thing will turn into a brick about this big, and they will put those in fighter jets or whatever airplane they're flying around, and if they crash, they can stay warm inside those sleeping bags. So there's some cool history behind them. Some real deal special forces guys use those for up to, I think the lowest rated bag they have is -80
It's kind of
or
crazy.
-60, which is crazy cold. But really good, cool brand. I actually called them because I had some questions, and an older gentleman answered the phone. And after a couple sentences, I asked, or I think he had a phone call and said, Jerry, and I remember from their YouTube videos, Jerry's the owner. So if you call that company, the owner is most likely going to answer the phone. And I remember reading a YouTube comment where someone was talking about ordering some bags in the 80s or the 90s, and the owner answered the phone. So he's been answering the phone for a long time. And for the owner of a company to answer the phone nowadays is really impressive. So definitely check Wiggies out. What do you think? What else, Liz? You want to talk about Zippo stuff?
Yeah, we can show them our hand warmers that we use for the girls.
Yeah, you can go ahead and show
You
them
know. So we have, they have 2 different types of hand warmers from Zippo. And I recommend Zippo just because they're like the nicest of the nice that you can probably get. More than likely. So they come with like these little pouch, and it says Zippo on it, so you know it's definitely Zippo. But this is a 12-hour one, so it'll run for 12 hours if you fill it up,
or 6 if you
or
only fill
6
half
depending on how full you fill it. But the cap comes off, and then you take off the wick.
Yeah, I think it's called a wick or burner.
Yep, wick burner, and then you fill with your Zippo fluid, lighter fluid, in there, and then you pop this back on, and then either with your Zippo or your cheap Bic lighter, you hold it there for a few seconds, get the embers burning, and then wait for it to get really hot. And once it's really, really hot, this case comes in really handy because you will not be able to touch that at all.
You can hold the bottom, but
You
the
can,
top gets
no,
hot.
not even the
Top
bottom.
middle. Really?
The whole thing gets really, really hot.
Yeah.
Like, I dropped it a couple times last night in the sleeping bag because I was trying to keep it warm and burning. And I had to touch it with my bare hands, and man, that burns.
Yeah.
It was very hot. So that is the biggest one they have. The smallest one is only a 6-hour one. They come in different colors. So if you're not a fan of pink, you don't have to get pink.
I think they have white, black, and maybe green, I've seen.
Yeah. You can also go on their website and customize.
Can you?
Yes, you can customize how your Zippo hand warmer looks like. You can also customize your Zippo lighters,
Oh,
which is crazy,
yeah.
you know.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
Highly recommend them.
And the 6 hours handy, but I would say if you plan on camping with them, like 6 hours perfect for like going. We use that the 12-hour for a drive-in theater, but I only filled it for 6 hours because we were just watching one
we're
movie.
just watching a movie, not running
Yeah.
around, playing in the snow.
Yeah. But
When you're
last
running
night-
around and playing in the snow, definitely, you know, because little kids, their hands get wet, they take off their gloves, they lose their gloves. They need something to warm their hands up.
Yeah. But last night we filled one for 12 hours, and
I filled up.
it finished this morning.
You filled up one for 12 hours. I filled up another one for 12 hours. Yeah.
So if you're doing an all-nighter, you definitely want 12 hours. And then you're not messing with lighter fluid in the middle of the night if you want to refill one and one of the girls is complaining about cold hands.
Yeah.
And you said you used it. I didn't know this. You used it to preheat.
Yeah, I used it to preheat the sleeping bag where our youngest was sleeping in because she was co-sleeping next to me. So that way we could share body heat so she wouldn't freeze because she's only 2. So I used the hand warmer and I put it on the Wiggy sleeping bag while I was nursing her to get her to fall asleep, and it warmed up her sleeping bag. Very nice, very cozy for her, so she could actually lay down and sleep without waking up and being, oh, it's cold, you know.
Yeah, she didn't have to acclimate it. It was already...
Yeah, it was already warm enough for her where she could sleep comfortably.
And that reminds me of something else. If you want to hold this for a second.
Sure.
I don't know if we have any attached right now, but these sleeping bags, another reason I'm glad I called Wiggies before I ordered these, because I didn't know you can combine them. You can get a left-hand zipper.
The gray ones are combined.
Are they?
Yeah.
Let me grab that.
Those are the ones that I used with Anna last night.
So these two are combined, and there's 2 different color ones, but basically they're combined in the middle here with the zippers. A little quick tutorial. You just bring those 2 together to the bottom.
And one side will come out. Try the other side. Oh, it's not going all the way.
There you go. And now they're separated.
And then you can do the same
same for the middle.
The bottom zipper. And then it becomes either 1 sleeping bag or 2 sleeping bags.
Right. And that was really, I had no idea we could do that. So when the owner told me that was awesome, because you can sleep with the youngest. I actually slept on my own, and the 6-year-old was on her own. She was
7. She's 7.
7, yeah.
She's 7.
I've been saying our 1-year-old, when she was 1, I've been saying she's 3 for like the last year. And she just...
Well, you'll be right this year. She'll turn 3 this year.
She's turning 3 this year, but I've been saying she's older for so long. But yeah, these combine, which is awesome. We also have... What are these?
Rock Creek.
They're self-inflating. So you could leave this valve open. You unscrew this and there's a valve that flips to allow in.
Yeah,
and you flip it to allow air out. You just
that's
push
for
it
in and that's for deflate. It's okay, they gotta get deflated
I lost
anyway.
a little pressure, but it's fine. I'll just deflate it. We don't
They
need it.
don't self-inflate in cold weather, though. I'm gonna tell you that they don't self-inflate during cold weather because you need heat to make things rise and move.
Yeah.
So
The heat adds some like atmospheric pressure, maybe.
yeah. So if you're using those or any air mattress during the winter, you have to either have a pump or be prepared to blow them all up yourself.
It probably takes 10 minutes by manually blowing it to fill it up, but then you get it really tight and it's really comfortable. I'm the lightest I've been in a while. I'm 212 pounds, and you can lay on your elbow and you don't feel the floor, and it's probably only, wait a second, sorry. It's really not that thick. I don't know, that's probably 3-4 inches at most, depending on who you're asking, because guys have different inch references. But yeah, they support an adult totally fine. They're a little pricey, but we have 3, but I've bought I think 6 or 5 total, but I gave the others to my parents for when they're using them with guests or whatever. So that's pretty much our sleeping setup. We have just a Walmart instant setup tent. This is probably, I don't know how many times I've used this. Maybe.
You used it like 4 or 5 times with Tyler and your buddies, and then we've used it like 3 or 4 times. So it's been used a fair amount.
Maybe a dozen times.
Yeah.
But which isn't a ton, but for a cheap Walmart one, it's doing okay. It was like $200. Sets up super fast, but last night it actually failed on us for the first time. It buckled inwards, I think it's because we spread it too tight so that these frames were straightening out, and we were actually adding quite a bit of weight with this tarp. This is a huge tarp that we draped around it, and then there's a secondary tarp under our rain shield. So there's two, I guess three if you count the rain shield as a tarp. There's 3 tarps on there, so there's a bit of weight. And on that back net, there's a net hanging there. We had our handguns and our knives and our flashlights and our
phones and our
phones
walkie-talkies.
and our walkie-talkies. I think I had my keys in there, so we had a lot of weight hanging from it. And up above, we had a lantern and stuff. So it buckled in, and we just had to push it up this morning. But next, I think we're gonna get a Russian bear
hot tent. That's what
hot
they're
tent.
called.
And that'll have, or we're gonna get one, even if it's not that one specifically, we're getting one for sure with a wood stove compatibility.
Yeah.
The Mr. Buddy is great for portability, and with the 1 pound tanks, it's just gonna spark up within a couple minutes and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But the heat, do you want to hold this, or maybe you can demonstrate where does the heat go when it's on?
Okay, so it's not super complicated to operate. You have your off pilot low and high. So you push it down on off, and then you gotta get it to spark. There's your ignition, whatever. Oh my goodness,
Indignation.
now I'm having issues. And then that's it on low. But if you want it to go right, you gotta turn it on to high. Wait for it to turn orange.
It's might be a little hard to see because it's bright out now, but
Yeah.
that white quartz plate, I believe it's quartz and some
Yeah.
grid thing.
It has a flame going up it where there's propane. So it gets nice and warm, and it's starting to turn a little orangey right now. Probably
we're starting
can't.
to see it. If we go in the tent, we'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Or we just go in the shade a little bit.
I think you essentially just preheat that quartz till it's bright.
Yeah.
And then
till
you
it's
set
nice
it
and
to
orange. Then you put it to low.
Or if you want to keep it at high.
Or if you want to keep it at high. But then your run time with little tank is a lot lower. It's like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
So you cut off a few hours.
But the direction the heat goes.
But the direction, you would think, hopefully it would come out this way, but it all rises, because everybody should know this. Heat rises. If you don't have a fan to push it back down to the ground to where you're sleeping, you're going to be cold.
Not super cold. Well, the
Not super cold, because if you have your tent insulated, even if it's just a Walmart tent, if you have tarps draped over it and you have it insulated, that heat will stay in that cocoon and it will drift back down. You'll eventually warm up that whole space. It may take a little bit longer to do so, but it will happen.
It kind of comes out at an angle, like maybe like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah. So like there's some heat here, but like you feel it probably like right here. You can feel it up to here, the heat already. It's like heat a little bit, but you got to get close to that grill, and you don't want to touch that grill when it's hot, because then you get burned.
Actually, if you want to hold the phone for a bit, there's a tip I learned on a YouTube video. I'm gonna use my welding gloves here. I'm gonna turn this off.
Yeah, let's not mess with the yellows.
This grid is, you can pop this up, and then that comes out. This you put it in here, like in the handle, and you can actually warm stuff up here, like hot. What do we got?
We got a coffee maker, but you can use it to just warm up water.
That might be
to
a
make
bit
hot
of
cocoa.
weight to put on there.
Yeah.
We haven't actually tried it because we got a fire pit and a grill and whatever. But you can warm stuff on here.
You could probably do like a can of stew.
We
or
probably
something.
could. We have the little Stanley stew thing that we used last night for a can of stew, and I'm sure it would handle that weight. But the same video I saw him showing that, he also bought a painter's tray that looked much more sturdy, and it could hold a bit more weight. And then you still have this protected, so you don't have to take this off. You just put a painter's tray here that's obviously metal, and you got that little platform, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool little trick if you just had that and you had to do some cooking. They sell larger ones with cooking attachments and whatnot. That's just another thing. Another thing with the Zippo I forgot to point out, they sell fuel canisters, and this holds enough to refill a standard Zippo or 6 hours of the hand warmer. It also comes with this little tab. Let's see if I can show you. That works as a flat screwdriver for taking off the spring that holds the flint in. This little rubber gasket holds a backup flint, and there's a spot here to hide an extra flint also. So actually last night, I haven't replaced it yet, but my trusty kind of like everyday carry, it's always in my my pipe tobacco bag. The flint died, so when it dies you can't spin that. It's just metal on metal. So I have a backup flint in here, and I don't remember if I put one in here, but you've got those if you run into an issue, whereas with a Bic lighter you would just throw it away if you had that kind of issue.
Yeah.
I wrapped this in bicycle inner tube, and this is like a hemp rope that I could use as there's like quite a bit wound up under there that I could use as a little fire starter. If I didn't want to use up my fluid, I could just pull some of this out, light it, and then I have a little piece of rope I could use as a little candle. So that's a cool little dealio with that. What else? Do you want to show them what knives you're carrying?
Sure.
So we have a lot of options for camping. What we're going to grab, we have a nice collection of knives.
Yeah.
She sticks with what she likes, so she brought her out the fronts today.
Well, I have my own fronts, but I also have more in my purse because
You have fixed blades in your purse.
I have a fixed blade in my purse, and I also have a donut knife and a Swiss Army donut thing.
Right.
So, yeah, I have
Right.
a few different options.
So
One of my... Okay, I should probably show you the first actual, like, real good knife that I actually got that he bought for me, and it's this one.
the Boker Kalashnikov.
Yes. Very, very nice. I have the donuts in these, too.
Desert Warrior.
Desert Warrior. Or Dessert Warrior donuts. You can still look it up on Blade HQ's donuts if you want. And it's an automatic. It's very nice. I've had it for years. As you can see, it is definitely scuffed. This is an everyday carry. It's always in my pocket. 100%. Maybe not always at home, but whenever I leave the house, it's in my pocket. My...
Probably had that 2 or 3 years now. 2?
Yeah, I've had it for like 3 years at least. Maybe longer. This is my other one that I carry. This is a Microtech.
Ultratech. Microtech. The Ultratech is the model.
Ultratech is the model. It's made by Microtech though. And it is an automatic as well. And it has serration and a smooth edge. So that way if I need to saw something, I have
Like a seat
serration.
belt.
Yes, like a seat belt or something. Because not everybody's going to have like a seat belt cutter on them. You should have a knife though.
You also have a glass breaker.
Oh my goodness. Now I can close it. Okay, I got it. Yeah, there's a glass breaker. That is pretty, I would have to say, pretty standard on most of their...
Almost all of the Microtechs.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. I also carried this little guy. I got him for Christmas. See, glass breaker. Doesn't matter what size they are. I got him. And he's just adorable. He's
Green and bronze.
green and bronze. It's a very nice color combination. He was my Christmas gift.
That thing's so small, if you had to smack some glass with that, you would really want a glove on.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Regardless if you're smacking glass, you'd want a glove.
I have
but
small hands, so it's kind of perfect. But as you can see, that's already up in close to my skin. If I had to smack glass, that would suck really, really bad.
But those are the 3 you have on you.
Those are the 3 I have on me. I have more in my purse.
Go ahead and grab those. And to protect her purse's privacy in case there's any like weapons of mass distraction in there or something, show you what I'm carrying. This is a SOCOM, a Microtech as well. Kind of bit of a partial to Microtech. SOCOM Elite These are kind of hard to get. This was like $360 when they are in stock. They go really quick because people love them. Glass breaker as well. Partial serrations with the drop point. And I'll show you what else I got. I'll probably do really deep dives into these knives later. Chris Reeve Sebenza, the large Sebenza 31 with a drop point as well. Titanium handle. I think it's S45VN or something. I don't recall the blade steel. $550 knife, beautiful. These things are like wine, they get better with age. People will carry that one knife every day for 15 years and not have a problem. Let me get my big fixed blade out. This is a Microtech as well. This is the Curahee. Curahee is Cherokee for stands alone. This is a developed for the military. I'm trying to get good lighting here. This is a military developed weapon primarily. This has the best handle of any Microtech I own. Any way you hold this, it feels good in your hand. Really good stopper right there. So if you were pushing hard into something, your hand's not going to slide past the handle. Kind of a recurved design to the blade shape. This thing's just a tank. I have one more knife, Swiss Army knife in my pocket. That's like 50 years old, but I won't get that right now. All right, what you got?
So I have, okay, so this is, I would have to say, a fairly decent knife. It is a Smith & Wesson. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a Smith & Wesson. It has a glass breaker on it. I don't know how durable it is.
It's not carbide, it's just steel.
It's just steel. It does have a seatbelt cutter for those who, you know, they want a seatbelt cutter. But this one is also serrated. Partially, and a straight, normal one. And it's not an automatic. It's a liner lock, which means that this little bar right here, you have to push that over to free your knife to close it. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to stay there. It's not going to go anywhere. Or at least it shouldn't.
And that's not an expensive knife. That's
No,
like a
this is-
$25 knife maybe.
I think this was like 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah, and that
It's not super expensive, but
it's more of a
if you want
nostalgic
something
one.
that covers all bases and it's your first knife, I would definitely recommend it as a first timer kind of knife because it's cheap. You can get used to a knife. It has the basics on it.
If you lose it or break it, it's not a big deal. I actually
You
got you
won't
one
cry.
before. Yeah. She had one before that a crackhead got into our car and took it.
Yeah.
So we got it again kind of as a nostalgia thing, but also just as an extra knife to have.
Yeah. And then, so this is a Civivi. Not everybody likes Civivis. I'm not super in love with them, but I got it because it would complete my collection. And it is a donut. Again, not an automatic,
It's a flipper.
just a flipper with a liner lock. Nothing complex.
But it's got sprinkles.
But it's got sprinkles, and it's pink, and it's cute and adorable. Oh my goodness. And I also have my Swiss Army donut as well. Got that from Late HQ. So this one has all your basics as well, you know.
That's more of a nail cleaning knife kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more like
It's got
a
tweezers, a
cutesy
toothpick.
kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you need something, you got something. This is probably one of my more durable, dangerous-y kind of knives, I guess. I would have to say, because it actually does a really good job on cutting wood. It's a Tops knife.
I think it's the Tops Baghdad bullet. Oh, it's written right on there.
Yeah, Baghdad bullet. Tops.
And some military people do carry this one as well.
Yeah. So if you know what Tops is, then obviously you know what this is. But it's probably like one of my more aggressive blades. It's kind of terrifying because it is so sharp.
It's small and it's really thick. But
Yeah.
the cutting geometry, which is something that is a whole rabbit hole. The way the edge is ground really affects how it cuts. And they did a really good job with that. That it's super thick, so you could beat on that. You're not going to break it, but it's sharp. They did a good job on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I don't know what other bases we could cover. We do have some Yeti thermoses, but those are they speak for themselves. They keep stuff warm and cold.
Yeah.
We'll probably cook up some sausages and maybe go shoot some guns and go about our day.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any
don't know.
other ideas?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're good.
Pretty good. Should we talk about what hat you're wearing?
Oh yeah.
You look like an Eskimo.
I know. The hat. So the hat I am wearing is
Alaska Hard Gear
it's
by
called
Duluth.
yeah, Alaskan Hard Gear by Duluth Trading Company. Now the one I'm wearing is a man's large because guess what, ladies? They don't make them for you. They don't. I looked. They don't make them.
Maybe other brands, but
Maybe other brands will, but Duluth doesn't have them. They have some that were like baseball caps, but I'm like, it's a baseball cap. It's not covering my ears. It's not covering what needs to be covered.
and that's a rabbit fur, I believe.
Yeah, it's rabbit fur, bunny fur, super soft, very durable.
Well, I don't know about durable. We haven't really beat on it, but you don't want to.
You don't want it. They're meant for
They
like
shed a
if
little
you're
bit.
doing they're kind of meant for like if you're doing a hike or if you're snowboarding or skiing or you're camping out in the middle of winter. It's meant to just keep you warm. It's not meant to be like rolling around in the snow.
Yeah, or the mud.
Yeah, in the mud and
I really wouldn't want to beat on them. They're so
No.
nice and warm.
no.
They're almost excessively warm if you're like if you actually were shoveling, you'd probably be taking it off pretty quick because you'll warm up.
Yeah.
But they're so comfortable. Even if you look like a Bigfoot or something, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. When I say you, I don't mean you,
I know that.
but I might mean you.
I think you mean you. You're bigger than me, so yeah.
You might have the bigger feet,
Yeah, you bigger feet.
maybe.
Small feet.
Alrighty. Any other ideas?
I don't know. If you're gonna do camping, I do recommend probably getting very durable tarps.
Or a tent
Like-
with a wood burning stove.
Yeah, or a tent with a wood burning stove. You know, but if you're gonna try it out for the first time and $3,000 is too much in your pocket for a tent like that, then definitely do a Walmart tent and just buy some really heavy duty.
Tarps, wrap it,
Tarps, yes.
and then put a Mr. Buddy in
The
there.
biggest one we have is actually 12 feet by 24 feet, so it's huge, which will definitely cover a whole tent
And then some.
and then some, depending
Yeah.
on the size of your tent.
We really
But
could have
yes.
made this little wall flap larger. We really, because there's a ton of extra tarp
Yeah.
just bundled up over there.
Yeah.
I didn't really address it, but we're in the firewood shed.
Yeah, we didn't address that at all.
We were typically we camp up a hill over here, and we, if you might have seen, there's a bunch of snow, and we tried getting up the hill. We have decent tires and all-wheel drive, but I didn't want to gun it with the kid that was in the car and slide off into some rocks and get stuck. So
Or damage the vehicle and then
Yeah.
have to deal with insurance.
Yeah.
That's just
I did try, but I didn't want to try too hard and then break something.
yeah.
So I've got some Guinness beers waiting for me in there and some sausages, and I think there's carrots in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to start making some food. We got some there's a chicken coop over there. We'll probably go steal some of their eggs and fry them up, and the rest isn't your business.
So guess we'll see you later next time maybe. I don't know. Bye.